Right. Aboru, aboye, aboye, aboshishe, ìlera àlàáfíà, àṣẹ. Yeah, greetings. Let's speak on fasting. You know, the ancient fasting and the importance of fasting. As we knew it in the ancient time, very recent time, and as we actually know it now. So fasting is very important to the human body, and it's actually very important to have some kind of reach some kind of a spiritual deal with nature. Really, fasting is being carried out anciently speaking, especially when we're really dealing with the descendants of the ancient people. You know, when we really speak about the ancient people, we speaking things that goes back to eternity. So if we kind of focus on their descendants, then that actually makes things much easier, and it makes the content of this video, why we're making this video, or the content of this video, very much more clearer. At least that's what we're looking for, isn't it? We always look for clarity. As we say, the clarity of the fish is in the waters. The clarity of the fish is in the waters. That's what we're looking for in life, clarity. Because with clarity, then we know what is and what's not. So getting back to fasting, you know, fasting has always been done anciently speaking, and is carried out by the descendants of the ancient people, to always trying to have some kind of a form of balance with nature. We're dealing with breath here, so fasting is quite related to breath, aka the breath of life, or what we call the spirit of life. So fasting is very, very key to that kind of reality. Yes, that's where we fast in Yoruba. That is called Awe. In the culture, we have what we call Awe Bilibili or Awe Bilibili, which is, to be honest, on a crypto level, is just another name for issue, really. So all these so-called Christians, especially those Christians, I mean the one that call themselves Christian, that actually goes to the mountain to fast, you know, they actually relating to issue, whether they like it or not. That's the reason why it's called our Bilibili. Bilibili is another ancient name for issue. You know, I don't need to open no Bible to confirm that. I ain't got time for debate. You know, if you really know what fasting, if you really been having connection to the Most High Olodumare, then I wouldn't need no scripture to back what I'm saying. Right. So why are we talking about fasting? You know, everybody in one way or other actually fast. You know, hopefully we're fasting as long as people are not eating food in their dreams. You know, when we do go to bed, excuse me, when we do go to bed at night time, we sleep, we kind of fasting, which gives the body some time to be able to rest, because it takes a lot to digest food, you know. So that gives the body some time to be able to recuperate before the dawn, where we start getting busy again, aka eating our food and all that. It takes a lot of energy to digest food, as we know, you know. So fasting is very important. In the culture, people use it to create balance. When we speak about balance, we're talking about mayat. You know, balance is dealing with breath. Anytime you hear the word balance, it's dealing with iyemetu, omidan iyemetu, goddess mayat, aka omidan ledumare. So when people do fasting, it's a very good thing. It helps on many levels, to be able to have more kind of clarity, and we know that just even when people do this thing, they call it bili in the religious culture, even amongst the Yoruba religious culture, they always talk about bili there, which means, when people really do that, they don't even eat any food. They don't, probably some of them don't even drink any water. They go into pure breath. That's why it's called bili, pure breath. So, and with that, there's a different type of level of understanding within this type of reality. So, and it's called bili for that reason. So when people really go fasting, even just one day dry, when people in English it's called dry fasting, which means you just live on bread for the whole day. That actually almost equal to 3 days water fasting. One day dry fasting is equivalent to 3-day water fasting. Imagine if you do 2 days dry fasting, that equals to almost 6 days of water fasting. This is how powerful breath is, because breath itself contains water. That's why we say things like, oh me, oh yeah, yeah, me, yeah, oh. That's what we say those things, because we're dealing with oya here, which actually contains water. Ye mu ya. Mama ye mo ya. You see, so this is what it's all about, the mami water culture. That's what we're dealing with. So fasting is very important. 1 day fasting is equivalent to 3-day water fasting. So 1 day you're dealing with oya is equivalent to dealing with 3-day yemoya. This is how important Asian African system is. A pure science where we need to get into. So imagine somebody doing 7 days fasting. You need to work out what that will be. This is why we're talking about when people really speak about breatharian culture. That's the highest level of technology in the entire universe. Everybody that is into that kind of a realm, they are when they get to the stage of doing that, or when they actually pass the course, because breatharian journey is a course, is a way that has to be fulfilled. And once Mama Mayat actually matriculated you, then you gonna have your rainbow body, and the MAY, the angels will sing your name forever, because you now are one of them. So this is what fasting is all about. So let's leave that kind of level apart. Even just few day fasting, even one, like we said, 1 day fasting, is actually quite good for the body. And people that are on plant-based, like maybe raw plant-based, they're already fasting. It's not as good as the 1 day like dry fasting, but if you're on plant-based, you're already in some kind of fast anyway. And if you're on raw plant-based, you're on kind of a fast. If you're on plant-based, cooked plant-based, you're still on some kind of a level, but not as good as when you actually doing a raw plant-based food. This is a pyramid thing. It's a pyramid thing. This is real. And so people that are on plant-based, they kind of fasting in some kind of way. So imagine people that are on a juice, plant juice and vegetables and fruits and vegetable juice and all that. That's another level. Imagine people that don't even eat at all. That's another level. And those people, by thousands of years or so, we don't know. Depends on the grace of the Most High, because my yacht, Goddess Iyemetu need to look at you once. She needs to look at you once, and you become a child. She needs to look. You could be looking at her all your life. All she has to do is to take one glance at you. You'll be one of her child, and your name, your praise will be in the mouth of the heavenly realm forever and ever. Ashe, ashe, ashe. This fasting is very important. It gives balance to nature as nature gives balance to you. So maybe you should just try it. Even if it's only one day, if 1 day a week, you can just do even just water fasting for 1 day with water. If you can't do the dry 1 day fast, try just to drink water for the whole day, or maybe just try the vegetable juice or fruit juice for the whole day. So bit by bit, it's very important. You will see the difference. It brings clarity. It reduces pollution in your body, reduce toxins and all that. So we already know, and you'll be able to conserve energy. Ancient Africans used the energy they conserved during fasting to do so many things, to get the body back into repair and all that. So yeah, try it, just bit by bit, water, 1 day water, then maybe once you start getting used to it, you can do 1 day dry fast, which means you're living on breath alone for the whole day. You will see the difference, So people will die from breath, from the lack of breath, quicker than the lack of food. That's a fact. When you stop breathing, you're dead. But you might be able to sustain life by not eating food for a while. But if you can't breathe, then that's the end of the story, isn't it? That's why fasting is very important, because fasting actually makes you to breathe much more easier. So give it a try, bit by bit. At least give it a try. All right, aboru aboye aboshishe ebore eboye eboisheshe eshumari. Àṣẹ, àṣẹ, àṣẹ.